Everyone, good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. To those of you across the land and across the pond, I am Leo Brown here with a story time for y'all. I've been wanting to give y'all one, and I want to give you one where you can see the looks on my faces, child. So I have a story for you. All right, well, but before I get into my story time, I want to say thank you to all of you for watching and commenting and subscribing to the channel. It really does mean a lot. Um, and please make sure to like, make sure to comment, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. Become a Sugar Bear, honey. It means a lot. I am Mama Sugar Bear. Okay, I am Sugar Bear Supreme. And all of you will be Sugar Bears too if you subscribe to the channel. All right, so with that being said, oh, and before I get into anything else, if you would like a reading, if you want a coaching session with me, you can log on to my website, which is psychicleo.com. That's psychicleo.com. And if you're not really ready for that, or that's not your cup of tea, it's not for everybody. Listen, I would never try to force myself on anybody, even though I could talk about that too, but that's a whole other show. Um, you can follow me on various social media platforms. All the information is down in the description box below. So with that being said, let's get into today's story time. So yeah, we're talking about prejudice today, honey, racism, okay? No, I didn't write a song about it, but I have a story for it, okay? Y'all wanna hear it? Here we go. All right, so I have two stories and they both take place in the same place. So for those of you who, if you know me outside of YouTube, you know that I've moved around a lot. I've lived in Missouri, I've lived in Virginia, I've lived in Tennessee, I've lived in Illinois. I've lived a lot. Like I've lived in many different places. And that's because my mother, was my mom was the kind of parent where if she didn't like something, she would move. She would just move. Like if something didn't go her way, she would move. And unfortunately, I learned that habit, which I'm actually unlearning. Thank you, therapy. Anyway, so let me get into the story. So we really not my phone story. Who's calling me? They just whatever. It's gonna keep ringing too. Y'all don't deal with yeah, yeah, yeah. Not with any money from me. Not right now. Yeah, yeah. I have bill collectors calling me. Anyway, and that's a whole other show too. But anywho, so getting into the story. So through the years of 14 to I want to say 16, I lived in a town called Springfield, Missouri. Springfield, Missouri is, if you don't know, Springfield, Missouri is in Southwest Missouri, and it's actually the birthplace of Kathleen Turner. It's the birthplaces of Kathleen Turner and Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt actually went to Kickapoo High School, and Kathleen Turner went to SMSU. If you know anything about that, leave it in the comments below. So I went to a school, and believe it or not, arguably, this was actually the happiest time of my childhood. For me, childhood adolescence was the time of my life. So I went to a school called Studi, but it was spelled like study, but you pronounced it Studi. And I think now it's a detention center. So anywho, went to a school called Studi Middle School. And, of course, I had my teachers and stuff. I had a teacher, her name was Roxanne Triplett. I never forget her. Roxanne Triplett and Matthew Trogdon, sweethearts, okay? Just absolutely adorable. I used to terrorize her with the score, A Funny Girl, but it's a whole other show. So one day we're in class and we're learning because she was an English teacher. She does English, and we're learning English and stuff. And she's teaching, and oh my God, I can see his face. Um, there was a guy. His name was Bobby. I forgot his last name, but his name was Bobby. Child, let me tell you. Now, mind you, have I been around racism before? Yes, I have. I'm from Alabama. I know all about it. My mother is a boomer. My mother grew up during the civil rights movement in Montgomery, Alabama. Okay. So, yes, I know racism, but I had never really experienced it on my own until this time. So, let me tell y'all what happened. So we in class, we learning Miss Triplet, doing her thing. Shout out to Roxanne Triplet if you're still living. She was a sweetheart of a teacher. People don't realize how important teachers are, but I digress. And Mr. Troughton too, Matthew Troughton, awesome teachers. Anyway, and Matthew Troughton always had like I'm digressing, but I'm gonna come back. But Matthew Troughton always had like he wore glasses. He was actually, he kind of looked like an older version of Ashton Kutcher from that '70s show. And he always smelled like mint and like this beautiful cologne. And that's because he chewed gum. He always chewed spearmint gum. And I remember, baby, I had a little bit of a crush on him. I didn't know I was gay then. But yes, honey, queen was queen. The queen was queen, honey, even then. So anyway, so we're in the class and we're learning. I forgot what we were learning about, but we're learning. We're doing our thing. She's teaching, of course, doing what teachers do. And Bobby's messing with me, and I'm like, Bobby, stop! Like, leave me alone. And I'm defending myself. I'm like, and mind you, the teacher doesn't see this, but I'm like, leave me alone, quit it, quit it, quit it. And I hit him one good time, and he, baby, listen. I don't know why this man or this little boy, I shouldn't say call him a man, but this little boy had the nerve to say this to me. And at the time, I was in a wheelchair provided by the school, and kids would actually wheel me around the school. And yeah, honey, I was a little popular. I was given Teen Witch, most popular girl. Yes. Anyway, so I'm trying to learn my lessons and stuff, and he does it again. I really, I hit him. You know how you do. You playing with people, and he wouldn't leave me alone. And then I hit him again, and maybe I hit him a little too hard. Baby, Bobby gonna have the nerve to say, "You effing N-word." Baby, I don't know why he went there. Why did you do it to me, Bobby? Why did you say that? Baby, before I know it, I beat his ass. You hear me? I beat his ass like he stole something from my mama, my grandmother, okay, and my great 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 grandmama, okay. I beat his ass, okay. And so all of a sudden, I forgot the other person that because we were seated in groups of like three. So because I think we were doing a group project, and baby, baby, I'm wailing on it. I'm giving it all I got, okay? And and you hear one of the other students, oh my God, Miss Triplet, oh my God, he's hitting somebody. And Miss Triplet's like, oh my God, stop it, stop it. So she breaks it up and she's like, why are you hitting him? And I said, and mind you, now I wanted to take the whole, Lynn Whitfield and Josephine Baker route, like, excuse me, I gotta get a prop for this. Okay, here we go. He called me and I'm gonna use the word. He called me a nigger. He said he wouldn't be sitting alongside a nigger. Well, I don't know if you know it, but there are laws against those things. Excuse me. Call the police, and I'm gonna call and tell them I'm making a citizen's arrest now. That's what I wanted to do, but I wasn't as sophisticated as I am today. Okay, and I was like, he called me the N-word, Miss Triplet, and I had to beat him down. Okay, and Miss Triplet was like, Bobby, is this true? Did you really call him that? Did you disrespect him like that? And he was like, and he didn't say anything, but he had a look of guilt on his face. And I remember this day because he wore a green t-shirt. This is crazy how like the mind works. And so she looked at me and she was like, you know what? I'm not gonna send you to the office because you did nothing wrong. You defended yourself. But here's what I will do. I will separate the two of you. And so that's what she did. She separated us. And after that beatdown that he got from me, he never called me another name again after that. Okay, so that was the first time that I dealt with a little prejudice. I think prejudice, like on 2 I believe he's prejudiced. So the second time was in school, and it was at the same school at Studi Middle School. And we had a class, and this so shows how old I am, because I'm so about to tell my age. So back in the day, because you got to remember, the internet is not what it is today. Okay, in my day, we had a class called computer, and I hate to, I know me because I'm gonna mispronounce this word. We had a class called computer strategy. Okay, had it right, because I normally say strategy. But we had a class called computer strategy, and it was taught by a teacher by the name of Mr. Bates. And Mr. Bates was an odd duck, but he was actually a really nice guy. It was Mr. Bates, and I forgot the other woman's name because it was another woman that taught us. And she also taught us home ec. This is like, kid you not, we took home economics, which they need to be back in school. You need to learn how to cook. You need to learn how to sew. And this is not just for women, it's for men too. Bring home economics back to school and tell history right. Yeah, I'm looking at you, DeSantis. Anyway, so anywho, so we're in school and we're learning because basically this class was teaching us how to connect to the internet, how to use software, how to type things on Word, because you have to remember this was the days of like Windows 95. So this was like when the internet became, was just getting started. And so we're in class and I'm doing my work, and I remember the guy, his name was Jonathan. He was a really skinny white boy. And mind you, I went to a mostly white, racially integrated school. Okay. I didn't go to an all Black school until I was in high school. And that's a story time within itself. Anywho, so shout out to John F. Kennedy High School, also known as Armstrong, in Richmond, Virginia. Anywho, so we're doing our work, and Jonathan, I forgot what he did, but I remember he was really thin. He had dirty blonde hair. And I have to say, like, this was also the beginnings of me kind of noticing that I was one of the girls, but not really owning it, because you know how it is when you discover your sexuality, you don't really own it right away. That's why I often say coming out is a process, especially for the person dealing with it. Anywho, so we're doing our thing, and I'm like, okay, I'm just doing the work. And he was another one. He was irritating me, agitating me. And I was like, well, leave me alone, whatever. And I'm trying to do my work, and and I forgot what spurred it up, because I think we were just talking back and forth, like talking smack. And then he said to me, and I will never forget this. He said to me, and that's why you are the N-word. And mind you, the teacher, and I know y'all like, where was the teacher in all of this? The teacher didn't hear none of this, okay? So I'm like, and my Zoom is acting up. Oh my goodness. Anyway, we just gonna roll with it. So, hold on, y'all. Hold on. I'll stop there we go. I'll stop the video. So anyway, so he goes, that's why you're, and I'm like, what? What you say? What you call me? Baby, and mind you, I was in a wheelchair. Okay. I got out of my wheelchair. I ran over to him, and when I tell you, I choked the shit out of this man. Do you hear me? Okay. Baby, I choked him so bad he turned about 3 shades of red and 4 shades of yellow. Do you hear me? Baby. And I said, don't you ever in your life. I'm gonna cut the camera back on, y'all, so I can see my face. Don't you ever in your life call me the N-word again. Okay. And I said, don't you ever degrade me and call me that kind of word. And before I knew it, baby, tears was coming down his face like somebody beat the sweetness out of the gingerbread. Do you hear me? And I learned on that day, you have to defend yourself. And that was the first, well, that wasn't the only time, but those were the first 2 times that I really experienced racism on my own. And there was another story. I won't go into that one yet because that's kind of that story is actually kind of sad. But yeah, oh yeah, honey, I got stories for days, but I just wanted to share those 2 with y'all because trust and believe, Mama Sugar Bear has been through. But that's what you get. So you can call me a name. Anyway, so and honestly, I will say this when it comes to the N-word, I don't feel that any of us should use it, regardless of spelling. Now, do I say it? Yes, I do. Do I feel that we should do I feel that we should use it? No, I don't. But to prove a point with certain things, I will use the word. I'm not gonna lie, say I don't, because I do. And it depends on what the subject is and who we're discussing. But in my everyday life, no, I don't believe in using that word at all. That word is denigrating and a slur and a put down. And I don't care how much of us we use it and think, well, that's we're taking it back. No, no. That can stay where it belongs. But that's just me. So that was my story time, y'all. Prejudice. I had to talk about that. That was on my mind, and I wanted to share story time with y'all. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments below. I really enjoy doing story times because they actually are a lot of fun, and I have plenty to discuss. And shout out to Studi Middle School in Springfield, Missouri, also Kickapoo High School, Central High School. Gotta do my shout out to Springfield, Missouri. That was where I discovered a lot of things about myself, honey. But I really didn't act on them until later in life. I was a good girl. I could have been anyway. But anywho, the point is, hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope you guys have a great, great rest of the week and an awesome night. Talk to you soon, and more importantly, be learnable, be teachable, be yourself, and most of all, love yourself. Excuse me, and most of all, be you. Have a great one. Talk to you soon. Bye. Oh, it's recording on the cloud. Yeah.